So a lot of drama seems to be coming out of the Cradle of Filth camp. They have lost a couple of members, starting with Zoe Marie Fedorov. Yeah, she shocked fans on August 24th when she announced that for personal reasons she could no longer continue the tour or remain with the band at all. Shortly afterward, frontman Dani Filth responded to her statement on social media, calling it a strange turn of events, while assuring fans the tour would continue with a replacement. Now, both Fedorov and Smerda have spoken out in great detail, accusing Filth and his management team of fostering what they describe as a toxic and exploitative environment. Yeah, that's after the lineup unraveled further, as guitarist Marek Ashok Smerda has confirmed that he will also be parting ways with the band. Yeah, so apparently they are a couple. That's actually his wife, the keyboardist vocalist Zoe. So yeah, it seems like they both left, and which is understandable. You know, your wife leaves. You know, why wouldn't you? But yeah, in a lengthy statement, Fedorov alleged that band management engaged in financial manipulation and threats, while Dani Filth hid behind them instead of standing up for his bandmates. Ooh. She claimed that the atmosphere was threatening and abusive, and that members were kept in poverty wages while being pressured into exclusivity. Fedorov also revealed that the toll of the situation led to a miscarriage during a previous tour. Fuck, dude. That's brutal. That's fucking brutal. Now, Smerda has now confirmed his own exit, which will take place at the conclusion of the band's current Latin American tour on September 9th in Guatemala City. Damn, that's crazy. Why is every time it seems like something's going on in Latin America, there's always some sort of drama that always ensues, you know? Black Dahlia decided not to do it or postpone it. Whitechapel, that's when Phil was kind of having a hard time. He had to take a break. But, I mean, with everything going on over there and just traveling to Latin America right now, it has to be just a horrible process at this point. Thanks, Trump. But Smerda goes on saying, I am indeed leaving Cradle of Filth at the end of this current tour, and the reasons behind this are conclusions my wife and came together at long before this week. We simply do not feel like Cradle can provide for our future, and in fact hinders it. Among other reasons, a lot of work for relatively low pay. Stress is quite high, and we haven't felt for a while like this band actually prioritized caring about members. It has been years of unprofessional behavior from people above us that led to our decision. He once revealed that he requested removal of his compositions from upcoming releases, including the much-discussed Ed Sheeran collaboration. Why are they doing a collab with Ed Sheeran? That's such a weird collab. Why, guys? What the fuck? This song feels like foolish clown antics for me at this point anyways. First was charity for... It was a charity single for kids, then for a profit single, then on next album, and then who knows, I just don't want to be involved anymore. No disrespect to Ed Sheeran. He's a good artist, but that's so fucking random with Cradle of Filth and Dani's vocals with fucking Ed Sheeran. What the fuck? He also called for fans to stop speculating about his personal life with Fedorov, adding, and meanwhile, so many brilliant internet brains trying to speculate on personal affairs between me and Zoe. Just stop this, please. We are trying to start a new chapter and we're going to finish this tour strong. For fans and my friends in this band and crew, it is my last ride with Cradle, and I'm proud to give it my best. I'm sad not to share the stage with my wife these last times, but I respect why she left. I'm happy our friend Kelsey Peters has been giving us the opportunity to sign. Yeah, they've been with Cradle of Filth since 2022 and married earlier this year. Their joint departure marks yet another shakeup in this band's frequent shifting lineup, leaving Filth and their main members to carry forward and mounting scrutiny from fans and ex-members alike. Damn. So, yeah, I think Zoe went on to add more information lately. Stuff just keeps coming out this whole week. So it's just been kind of insane. Like, I've been trying to do the push, but every time there's a new article. Okay, so she goes on. Zoe says, a further statement on the departure of myself and Ashok from Cradle of Filth and a warning to our successors. Read the contract. Planned this transition out of Cradle of Filth months ago. Management is dishonest, manipulative, and tries to take money that belongs to us. There was no contract between us, sessions, musicians, and him. When I called them out on this attempted theft of album advance money from Screaming of the Valkyries, they called me cancer and dead horse and threatened to fire me. Fuck, dude. Frontman does nothing to stop them, hides behind them while they belittle and steal. We hold the frontman responsible for firing this management and never advocating for his team, only himself. Other ex-members try to tiptoe around this and only blame management. Management works for the frontman. He might not get his hands dirty, but in the end, he directs them. The atmosphere he creates is threatening and abusive and constantly exploits us for very low wages. He also demands exclusivity to Cradle's schedule. We do not make even the bare cost of living. Damn, yet we are told not to tour with other bands to supplement income. It is madness to keep people locked in poverty for the ego of one person. Goes on to say, we attached the contract they attempted to trap all sessions members in for a 25% raise. The first raise in 7 years. Fuck. Our lawyer called it the most psychopathic contract a session musician could ever be handed. We did not sign, made a decision to leave this year instead. Crazy. She goes on, she says, so we left because we were being used and paid less than the cost of living. The environment is toxic and threatening, and told this was all taking our lives, and our marriage grew too great. The health toll took on us, led me to miscarry our first pregnancy on tour. Chose to leave, save ourselves, and create a better future for our family. Now that we are out, the sun is shining, our family has hope, and we hope every session musician who thinks about joining Cradle reads his contract and talks to her lawyer. Damn. Good luck to whoever tries to make it work next. And remember, we all know the guy who says all his exes are crazy. Sure, all of them, or could the problem be the 40 plus people later? Farewell to the fans, our fellow session members and crew. They're the only part of this that remains good memories. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy because Dani Filth made it seem more like Ashok, her husband, was fired. I guess they pretty much just fired him before he could quit. I guess he's gonna stay towards the end of the tour. So Dani Filth came out and saw his Graveheart that Cradle officially announced the firing of guitarist Marek Ashok Shmerda from the band effective immediately. Dani wrote on August 26th, despite all attempts to illegally defame and derail the band, Cradle of Filth will not cancel any of our South American shows. The rest of the band are cool, even if taken aback, and the accusations towards management are completely unjust and unfounded. Dani Filth does post his side of the story, but it's pretty long. It's a pretty long one. It's nearly 2,000 word statement to address the situation with Fedorov and the Shook. But yeah, some stuff kind of doesn't seem right. Says that when he sent out the contract, it was meant to start negotiation and use an old, never used contract before that no one, including their attorney, supposedly had time to look at before it was sent. That's kind of iffy. Like, that sounds kind of sussy-wussy. You should definitely be sending out contracts like that are a little bit more detailed to what they actually deserve. The entire statement alleges a tumultuous and what seems to be a mutually abusive relationship between Fedorov and Ashok, and the supposed issue with alcohol. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Dani Filth wrote, "Greetings, everyone. I think it's time to reveal my side of the story. Now that so many accusations have been leveled at the band, our management, and me personally, I apologize for the slight tardiness of this statement. It is important to approach this in a level-headed manner after reflection. Timing was also difficult as the band is currently touring South America with arduous travel days, long flights, and shows. I don't believe in tit for tat or slander, but I do want to clarify the following points. Firstly, in the contract in question, this is not a contract that was ever expected to be signed as is, but was the initial framework to build from. I'll expand on this further, but we do not see but I do see that one of the main reasons for having this situation is because of miscommunication regarding the nature of the contract and what was expected of the parties receiving it. Yeah, it seems like you should be pretty clear about that sort of thing, especially when it comes to contracts. No one in the band is prohibited from working with other groups and substituting their income. We currently schedule tours for about 40% of the year, with the rest of the year being available for other commitments. Many of my bandmates have other projects, as can be seen on their own social media pages. We do not prohibit our musicians from work commitments with other bands. We only ask to plan sufficiently, weaving schedules together as far in advance as the situation allows. 3. I'm sad to see that Zoe is picking facts to fit an agenda, but I am willing to share the full story, including the description of the events of the first 3 days of the South American tour, to show a more balanced picture so that people can make their judgments based on the wider context. During those first days, heavy drinking, escalating arguments, and repeated public disputes created a very disruptive atmosphere for everyone involved. I personally witnessed heated exchange between Zoe and the Shook that include both verbal and physical abuse, culminating in a public display in front of the hotel and fans who had gathered for last-minute autographs on Sao Paulo. This was not an isolated incident, but part of a pattern of abusive behavior that strained the entire team. Wow. I mean, something like that happened, you would think that there had been a report on that, as far as that goes, you know. I wonder if there's been any reports or anything of anything kind of corroborating that. While I understand touring is stressful and exhausting, I cannot excuse the effect they have on the rest of us. The decision to continue to tour without them was not taken lightly, but was necessary for the health of the band and crew. Also, no one knew anything about her pregnancy, and if she was pregnant, why was she drinking at all? She even contacted management on several occasions asking for help and stopping drinking, with lengthy text messages proving this. It is important to me that the artists around me feel like their inputs are seen and valued. I do think for the most part this is the case, as some of the remaining members have been with me for over 10 years. We are, however, always looking to improve, so I will take what's happening now as an opportunity to have a better dialogue in the band. Crafting a more elaborate contract makes everyone feel comfortable and protected in the future. And addressing the management, Dev and Anastasia of the Oracle management have been nothing short of wonderful. Carrying an understanding, relinquishing commissions to make tours work, working closely with the band delivers some amazing opportunities, thinking above and outside the proverbial box. Having failed to fit Zoe in the band, Zoe is now attempting to slander and lie about as much as possible to garner dislike for me and our management. Isn't it easy to accuse without proof in this day and age when everybody is such a well-versed online critic can only begin to imagine what else I'll be accused of as she seeks to destroy this band and business? Preparing for the worst there, huh? Huh, Dani? No, I don't know. We'll see. Dez is very honest, transparent, and truthful and doesn't get paid until I allow the accountant to pay him. This means everything goes through my accountant, and then said accountant sifts through all the financial numbers to see what can and cannot be afforded. Dez never handles any of the money. Dez called out for Zoe's firing, to which Shook spoke out for her and went after the royal family of heavy metal. You won't have anybody speaking about Ozzy's wife like this. Oh yeah, there was a text message where it showed it. Dez Fafara, you are a sick, evil person trained by sickest person in music industry. Sharon Osbourne, the criminal who should be whipped to death. Jesus, your karma will catch up with you. Do not ever talk to my wife this way ever again. Jesus. Damn. Whipped to death. They say, really Shook, when your wife needed me and need to talk about sobriety and need to join GOF, I was a good guy then. I'm spitting facts. Stop putting Dani in a corner on tour over and over as he's trying to find money to pay you. Dang. Yeah, that doesn't bode well. Now to elaborate further, as promised, firstly the contract in question. Yes, it was a shitty contract, the one that was put forward to help further dialogue with two members that have been causing a lot of drama behind the scenes. Start from a harmless and well-reasoned email from Zoe asking for a pay rise for the band, which was approved within days without any pushback. Zoe's communication continued to get ruder and to escalate a more threatening death for seemingly no reason, especially considering her original request was approved from the get-go. The tensions were growing. At the point of sending that contract, we had already received resignations from both Ashok and Zoe, so we decided not to spend any budget on the tailored contract, which in retrospect was a mistake as it further escalated the situation. Unfortunately, we sent out an old but never used before contract that was too brash, not as elaborate as it deserves to be, one that doesn't capture a full picture of the actuality of being in this band. It wasn't done with malicious intent, but was intended to start negotiations, none of us really realizing that I was sitting in a folder, but not used for a reason. That's kind of weird. Rashy Ford asking the band to sign. I don't know, it kind of seems like he kind of did come up with some kind of bullshit contract trying to kind of force them out. Which I understand if they've been having all this trouble and everything with them on tour in particular. But it does seem like maybe it was done for that reason, which isn't so great. I mean, really, you should just have the conversation that needs to be had about whatever's going on with them and the alcohol and the abuse, all that. You can't really have that on tour. Time of sending it, we all had barely had any time to look at the contract. I was going out, giving a surface glance, and just got it out to the band. I hadn't had a full conversation with the lawyer or Des about what the contract's initial intention was. This was oversight on my part, and it had been clarified later. Of course, Zoe is truly the worst, and saddens me the context of what I thought was our dialogue was warped for an agenda and made public. I'm talking internally with the rest of the band now to drop a contract that will best serve all of them and the business. And yes, unfortunately, a band is a business, and we witnessed a person storing trouble, drinking heavily, not writing, threatening to sue the band over use of their image, then something obviously needed to be done. Zoe and the Shook had already tendered their resignations, despite me agreeing to pay a pay rise amid additional financial protection. So I was in absolutely no hurry to waste money with our lawyer drafting a contract that was already destined to be pulled apart anyway. Say that they only earn X amount a year will certainly raise a few eyebrows. However, aside from their wages, they are also privy to publishing. They just received an advance who the management gave up commissions on. Publishing royalties, PRS on any equivalent in the country, touring bonuses, blah blah blah, food every day, bunk. Zoe's departure 3 days went to 26-date tour, and I've already promised me and management they would see out the tour in a professional manner. Zoe and the Shook proceeded to drink and argue between themselves for the first 3 days. Having argued all afternoon in front of everyone backstage, Shook wanted to stay back and have a few drinks after the show, arguing with Zoe to the contrary. Later, he was with fans and members of the crew. Zoe stormed downstairs. She stormed downstairs at the hotel, dragging back to the room, telling people to fuck off along the way and causing a scene. There are many witnesses to this, including that of her throwing things in. You would think people would have caught that on camera or something going on, or there should have been some sort of report on it. In Zoe's defense, I do count her outbursts on the fact that we had barely even 11 hours of sleep in 4 days, but I don't think it's a worthy excuse. No one else behaved in this manner. We were too tired for a start. Next morning, which was a very early lobby call, Shook was clearly still drunk, and again the two of them argued heavily at the airport, resulting in Zoe deciding to leave the tour and book a flight to Arizona, citing Shook's alcoholism partying by text. Shook remained as a courtesy to the band and testified by several people stipulated that his marriage was not working out. That, however, is none of my business. What is my business, however, is keeping our tour moving, with this run costing nearly $200,000 just expenses and wages alone. The thought of flying out new people and booking them visas, hotels, and flights was obviously a little overwhelming. I quite selfishly thought that without the constant drama that we witnessed on a daily basis, Shook would concede to enjoying the rest of the tour with us. However, that was not to be the case, as one minute he was crying on people's shoulders, the next morning pushing out a statement about his departure from the band amid other revelations, having spoke to his wife on the phone. Naturally, due to these fresh insights, he's fired on the spot. So, final statement. I, as many of my colleagues in the music industry, have been pretty much an alcoholic by definition at one or two stages of my career, and this is why I can observe her erratic patterns of behavior. It's also why I've been a teetotal from the booze for nigh on 3 years now. Anywho, I could prattle on forever. I just want to clear up a few things and be out of your hair. Thank you to all of the many bands, fans, and fellow musicians who have proffered their support in this manner. You guys are much appreciated indeed. Onward and upward, as they say. Yeah, pretty crazy, long ass fucking statement. But yeah, something's kind of iffy in terms of what he's saying, in terms of drawing up the contract. I think I don't know, I feel like two things can be true at once, right? Like, maybe they were having these issues with them the entire time and kind of did this whole thing to kind of push them out, and maybe they were acting up on tour and stuff like that. So it kind of just sounds like it was kind of just not professional on either side. But I digress. So Shook does fire back with a response on his Instagram to Dan after the last post, and I believe this will be the end of public statements from my side and my wife's, as long as it ends from his side. I know this is grating everyone, me too, but private convos did not store anything for months. I understand it was the last resort to go public. I'm usually a most silent person even when I'm hurt, which is probably why it took 12 years to properly say all of this. Here are my hands, the hands I used to serve you for 12 years, to write and play music for you. I gave you these hands. Oh, but he relates it to, but if you respect mothers, then why twist our tragedy of miscarriage into something that was not true of my wife? She never drank while pregnant. However, a doctor told her the lack of sleep, irregular schedule, constant pressure, management, on your job, did anything they didn't like. All of this more than likely contributed to her body rejecting pregnancy. She exhibits high signs of stress she is under. It's true we cannot blame it all on you, but for you to assume she's drinking with the pregnancy was low, because we all know there's very little that is worse than accusing a woman of killing her own child. I don't think that's what he was saying. He was just like, I mean, maybe he was kind of denying the pregnancy in general. He was just saying, wow, she wouldn't be drinking if she was pregnant, so I don't think that's what he was trying to say. I saw many times respect protesters argue with you in management, but only Zoe was singled out to be mocked and punished. Even now, your fans call her crazy, but I can guarantee every man in the band has said the same things that she is saying. I'm saying it too. There's never the same respect for my wife as for their or the opinions of the men. You once had my respect and full loyalty. Respect you lost a while ago, and loyalty you threw away not long ago. Even when I stopped respecting you, when it was obvious you did not care about us, I stayed loyal until you respond to a heartfelt plea to give us a better chance for living with a sordid contract. So every session member knows you will send instructions to sign as soon as possible. No one has a shitty contract just lying around to be sent by mistake. Yeah, that's what I kind of think. I think they sent them a different contract, and there's just like a whole dispute over it just because of all this infighting. I mean, that's my opinion what I think happened. To not take ownership even now for the many ways in which you screw us all is not surprising, but it's still sad, Dan, because even after years of being treated disposable, I wrote my heart and soul into albums for you, because I love music and I love the joy of fans. It's sad that you could not take any responsibility for these issues in private, and now they are public, so we are all caught in a giant storm. This is on you for not allowing anything to be handled privately. Just ignore everything we tell you for a long time. I wish I could see a man when I look at you, Dan, but I don't. I see excuses. Damn. Slammed, Dan. In time, we all come to light In time, it will all come to light, as I do not believe we will be the last to say something. Although it is now obvious why 40 other ex-members never did say much. It's been hell for us to speak up, but I do not regret it. Treat my brothers still in the band better. If there is any honor left in you, they are damn good people and will always have my love and support. This is the entire goal we have. Yeah, crazy. I mean, yeah, I think that people should most get paid, like, obviously what they deserve to be paid. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on, if it's as bad as what they're saying, as they're just not paying the rest of the band members properly. I mean, they are session musicians, so maybe it doesn't, like, necessarily hold for the full time. But I mean, they've been doing it for 12 years. Like, you're not even a session musician. You're just part of the band. But yeah, to me, it sounds like there's a lot of fighting going on, and maybe they kind of sent them something that there's no way they would have agreed on, because Laura said something about it being psychotic or something. But yeah, it seemed like maybe they were trying to force them out. But I mean, that's my opinion. But I do think everyone should be paid the way they deserve to be paid. But I mean, at the same time, if they're being unprofessional on tour, then it's like you gotta have that conversation, man, instead of just kind of doing something that might be considered passive aggressive. Even in general, even if Dani was being straight up about everything he did do, he still didn't have the communication he should have to shut whatever was going down. But yeah, crazy stuff. Seems like that might be the end of it, unless anyone else speaks out for now, or if Dani fires back. I don't think there's really much to say. I mean, yeah, he could deny that. It's like, dude, I wasn't saying anything about, saying your wife, kill the baby or something, but just more that, maybe she wasn't pregnant. But still, I mean, yeah, I can understand if they did go through something like that and someone questioning them on if that happened or not, it could be pretty frustrating and offensive. But yeah, we'll see how the situation continues to unfold. But yeah, I'll keep you in the loop. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to the Metal Nerd podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. And share too, if there's other friends you think that might enjoy this podcast, please share. And yeah, awesome, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments as well. Definitely need that engagement. So peace out, y'all.